Hey everyone, welcome to Locked In. Tonight, we're going to take our focus back to Michigan, and we're going to talk about a player who we believe, without a doubt, will be the Wolverines' next big superstar in the 2024 season, 2024-2025, and that's going to be tight end Colston Loveland, number 18. Um, he's a He's a big guy, but he doesn't look especially big. Right here in the picture, we see him lined up at the wing on the right side. He's a lanky looking guy, but don't let looks deceive you. 6'3", 245 pounds. There's probably still some meat that they could put on his frame. This guy could end up being, in the neighborhood of 250, 255 before he leaves Michigan. But the thing that's quite amazing about him is he has a knack for making gigantic pass plays, and he's also one heck of a blocker. Those are the two things that we want to try to show you with in this show. So, Chance, where are we going to begin?
We're going to begin with this amazing drawn up play by Michigan right here, where you'll see Loveland go on this route right here, but you'll see this outside receiver come in and rub his corner into that safety, and Loveland just sneak out of it. And, this is a great design play where Loveland is just wide open pretty much out of it and scores a touchdown. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, that's absolutely beautiful. So the other dude takes a dive right into that safety, gets him messed up, and Loveland just wide open, just off of his cut.
You know, the thing too that I love about now, he makes a great play, but what I love is after the rub. I mean, here's a good example of selfless football. Look, yeah, look, yeah,
Arms
yes,
up,
sir.
touchdown.
I did that. I think that's great. Because man, what a play. And it's all made possible by that rub. And you've also got to give Loveland a lot of credit for running that sharp route because he was in the exact perfect place to make this thing worked out.
Mhm.
And it made Ohio State look like fools and created a gigantic touchdown.
Yeah, good route
Um,
runner and a deep threat.
Yeah, say
that's
he could have
exactly it.
easily gotten stuck in that rub right there, and like how
Sure.
they
Mhm.
do in mesh, everybody gets so compiled together. He just slipped out of it though. It's pretty good. So
And
you can
one
see
of
it
the
right
things too,
here.
I'll add on that it's to go back to a theme that we've talked about several times. It feels like in the past several videos, the it's so hard to defend a guy like Loveland in the middle of the field. He runs like a receiver. He's got size of a tight end. He's crisp on routes. He knows where he's at.
Mhm.
That's a hard job because you can play so many games with those safeties, whether it's rubbing them or whatever it might be, trying to bait them up on the run. He's just a guy he's gonna make some serious plays. And and he's been doing it for 2 years for Michigan. Here's the famous play, the Big Ten championship game from a couple years ago against Purdue. Watch this play. I mean,
Came
this
from the
is
backfield.
outstanding.
Yeah, I was say he comes from like an H back position, and I mean absolutely
Awesome.
mosses two dudes right into the end zone for their first touchdown in the Big Ten championship. I mean that's a big stage as a freshman to be there. So I mean that's a great play.
And and just where he's at, like what Rev said with him being in the backfield, he's lined up basically as a fullback, with
Yep.
his hand on the ground. He's a versatile guy. He can play the tight end, he can play the wing, he can play fullback if you need him to. Um, I mean, I don't expect him to dive him in the center of the line or anything, but I guarantee you it makes a defense nervous whenever you put him in that position, knowing that you're going to have a linebacker trying to defend this guy. That's hopeless. He's got some major star power.
He did a really good job of turning his head back around, identifying the football. Hey, this is going to be kind of underthrown a little bit. There's a safety going over top. So quarterback can't throw this over my head. It's got to be short. I've got to turn around and kind of fight back towards the ball just a little bit. And he goes up and he gets it. Helps his quarterback out here. You hear that probably referred to a lot when you're watching from the announcers sometimes, helping your quarterback out. That's exactly what he does. He's got two guys right on him and he goes up and he helps him out, scores a touchdown.
Yeah, you'll notice him a lot. He's very good at settling into space.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing them two over top of him, that corner that stays on him, and man, that safety that comes over top, he kind of settles underneath them, high points the ball, and then brings it into his body so they can't really smack it out. I mean, this is a really good job just catching that ball.
think just recently we were watching either another tight end or another receiver who he went up and he got the ball and he did a really good job, but he held the ball up so it got knocked out. It was the one that we did. I think we were focused on the defensive side, so they did a better job of identifying the ball and knocking that thing out. But the receiver didn't pull it into his body here. That's his first instinct. As soon as he has his hands on, he starts pulling his arms down. So that can't happen. So it's really good instinct and good technique.
Yeah, here we got the trap game for them this year against Maryland, where they needed something to happen. 4th and 3, they needed it. Who do they go to? Their guy Loveland. I mean, this is a great sideline catch. It's got good coverage on them too. I mean, it's not hard to catch balls like that because I mean, hands on, man's on, just out to the sideline makes a good catch. I mean, that's all you can really say. Keeps his feet in bounds on a 4th and 3. That's pretty much all you can ask for.
I mean, they go to him multiple times on 4th down, and he might be young, but that is a dang good sign for what they think of him.
That says something about you. Right here,
Watch this, man. Watch this.
This is an amazing route. You see him go in motion, come in, go out, get the linebacker going out with the safety over top of him going out, and then he comes back in. It's absolutely beautiful.
Baits him out.
Go ahead.
And he just settles in between all three of them at the same time.
And that's another just testament to how much that McCarthy trusted him, because you're not going to throw. You are not going to throw that ball unless you know that man is going to come out of that pile with it. Look at that.
Tight window. Lord. 1, 2, 3 back behind. So if you miss it all, and also any kind of bobble here is probably a pick. Anything that gets hit up in the air is probably a pick. You got to have a guy who with sure hands, again, confidence. You got to have a confidence in your guy. They went to him on 2 4th downs in big moments. There's a tight game right here at 23-17. They had to have this.
And if you go back, look at how he gets into that route against Maryland. Watch this. Send it motion. Send him, pops in there. Man, that's something else.
Yeah, his cuts are really good.
We call it bang route. Like you pop outside, cut back in, just find your spot. Good Lord, man, that is a play.
Say this one, I'm pretty sure he goes over the middle again, just settles into that space over the middle.
Yep.
For a nice first down pickup against Ohio State, which, plays like that didn't come too often against Ohio State. That was a real close battle all game. And, to get a chunk of yardage like this and get them to the 50-yard line, it's a good play. Get that field position.
Settled right in the zone, right behind the backer who had come up, and then right in front of another one. So right in that little safe spot. Tight ends will always make defenses hurt unless they're paying attention. You got to know where you're going when you're that tight end to get into that little pit area where that quarterback can just dump it off to you. And not the greatest throw. I mean, it's a full extension with his arms over his head, so he helps his quarterback out and snags it, and gets another first down in a big game. So he's just really reliable. And he finds himself in a lot of open space, or he creates open space for himself regardless. Like even if he's got guys on him, he knows how to make space where he's able to give his quarterback the comfort. Hey, you can throw it in this window. I will come down with it.
Roll that one back to the beginning, if you don't mind. I just want to see what they. Yeah, all this is just Y-cross. I mean, it's just because you got the 2 on the out, the outside man running deep. You got the tight end figure, the Y coming across the middle, splitting the backers. As soon as he crosses that inside backer, ball's going to be there. Safety's deep because he's got a deep threat to help with. I mean, that's that's like the miracle play, man. I mean, if you got the Y to catch it, you're probably looking at 10 to 22 yards anytime you want it on that one, and that's the guy you want to be throwing it to. We're going to change it up a little bit here. Let's get into the run game because he's not
quite yet.
This is the last one, 4th and 1. So he just sneaks out of the backfield right here into the flats.
Our 3rd, 4th down play.
Another 4th down.
Look at that.
Consistency. That's what he is. Consistent.
Hiding behind as a wing, disguised.
And something that is like, I think that has to be pointed out on this. That is a freaking hard ball to catch
Mm-hmm.
because it's not like you're running a true out. I mean, he has got to be ready.
His
He's like
body's
what
turned.
Rev says, he's hidden. He's got to be ready instantly to catch this ball right there. Man, that's so quick. And look at him, man. He's ready to go.
I love how quick he gets to his spots where he's designed to go on these routes. He is so fast at getting to that area, getting his head turned, and being ready to catch the
Mm-hmm.
ball. And that's not a super common thing. Normally, it takes a little bit of time for guys to get there. Again, this is a young guy. He's a sophomore, so he does things that you would see upperclassmen do, or higher level upperclassmen do, and he's doing them as a sophomore. Obviously, next year, he'll be a junior. So he's gotten a lot of time, especially this year. He played quite a bit this year and was very effective for Michigan. So he's got a lot of experience under his belt. But he just is. We keep using that word reliable because I think that's just the best way to describe him. He's doing what he needs to do all the time, whether it be like here, we're talking about him running routes and pass catching, or the back half of this film that we're going to show you, which is him blocking with a run.
Yeah, this one's the one you like, Walk, where he comes down
Mm-hmm.
out of the backfield. Yeah, if you want to take over for that.
Yeah, because right here, what you see is so many teams are running these little counter plays. Once again, you see him with his hand on the ground, lined up like a fullback, offset, I formation, and he's going to follow over here, and he's going to be the guy responsible for getting this kick out block that really opens this run. So you got the back making the counter step, guard's going to wrap up, Loveland's going to come right behind, or no, excuse me, guard's going to kick it. Guy, he just sort of ran up the field. I'm sorry about that. Picks up this linebacker. And this is really what springs the play, creates that little running lane. And, as we've seen, before, you give these Michigan backs a crack to run through, and those boys are going to be gone. I mean, that's all you can say. And you can see right there, I mean, that Loveland has definitely, he has majored in the blocking course that Michigan, clearly has been conducting for a few years up there with Sharon Moore. I mean, this is something else because, I mean, right there, I think when you look at him, he doesn't look like one of these big bruisers like the rest of the linemen, but man, he sticks his nose in there and he makes the blocks that he needs to make. And many times he's the one springing runs. And he's also unbelievable at going downfield.
Yeah, if you look at this one, he should be right here, I think. And you'll see him kick out again. Or no, this is the one where he gets the double.
Yeah.
So so you'll see Corum go out. He'll come up, he'll get this end, and then he'll come off the end and go up to the backer. So he's getting first level for the contain, and he's getting the backer who would be flowing to get this first down right here against Ohio State.
Yep. Occupies the end. Corum has enough time to bounce it out. That was just enough for him to get around it, and then goes up and gets in the way.
Goes up to Ockenberg from William Ockenberg is his name, isn't it?
Tommy.
And I'll tell you the truth on this one right here. If Loveland does not get this block, which doesn't look like a killing block at all on the linebacker, just imagine what the linebacker ends up doing. He's going to run that. 35-yard line, and he's going to have a chance to tighten this play up, and they might not get the first down right here.
Yeah, Eichenberg is a very good linebacker. If you've watched Big Ten football this year, you've probably heard his name quite a bit. And just him getting that extra shoulder on him and pushing him off that little bit of an angle is enough time. Okay, now I've pushed him out. Now that angle is taking you to the first down marker rather than 2 yards in front of it.
Yeah,
and you
can
see the
thing
gap.
on that
Look at
end.
the gap between 6 and 10.
Yep.
I mean, right
That's
there,
where he's supposed to be.
He hits 35. When he hits 35, back it on up just a little bit more. Just that bump. Keep on going, keep on right there. He opens up a 5-6 yard hole right there that you are not going to get to. I don't care who you are. You are not going to get to Corum right there in that space. And it doesn't look like a lot.
Right.
But, man, he took 2 key defenders out from making this play. Yeah. Now, did he take them out, lay them on the ground? No, but that's not really what blocking's all about. Blocking is about getting your guy, making your guy unable to affect the play. And he just took out the contained man. He takes out the linebacker who should be in pursuit right down that line, forces him to swap spaces with the safety. He's going back where number 10, would expect to be. And all of a sudden, there's green grass that Coral can just, tear right through, all because of two smart, simple, really effective blocks.
Not something you're going to see a lot of praise for, especially among like more mainstream circles or anything like that. But it is worth the mention and worth us giving him his flowers, because these are key moments or key blocks that he makes that allows for much bigger gains.
This one,
just drive.
You'll just see him drive and drive
Watching.
and drive.
Doesn't stop.
No,
Go
till
back.
the whistle, driving his feet. And it gets a really good push off the line. That's what I like, his explosivity off of the line. Said you don't see it a lot. I mean, you'll see it with him and their guard. There's two players that actually like get off the ball, and one's going to a linebacker. So I mean, he's meeting the linebacker. But I mean, he's driving him off the line. He's not meeting him.
And that's number 13. Who we have talked about a lot. He was a big factor in the SEC championship game. There are a couple of videos that we did on that, and when we start talking about Alabama's defense, you'll start hearing us say number 13, and he plays multiple positions. So he's a good defensive player here, and Loveland just ragdolls him 6 yards back.
Yeah, I mean, you might think that because Loveland is like, he's what, 6'5", 6'6", like 250?
6'3".
6'3", around 240, 250.
Yeah.
I mean, you're thinking, he's a bigger dude. He should be able to easily block like a nickel corner, which is what this guy mainly, or a star. He's going to be he's going to be a variety of that type. So, well, that should be an easy block. I mean, not really, because I mean, you got to think them guys are really shifty and they're really hard to get their hands on, especially out in space. So, I mean, you really have to get off the ball fast and get your hands on them fast, being able to win this block, and he does it consistently. No matter if he's meeting them at the line or if he's going downfield to meet them, he's very good at getting on blocks, whether it be linebackers, safeties, any defensive backs, really, and he does a really good job at it.
So one thing there in the film too is, like what we've said, and you could see him being just a shining example of it. Say what you will, Michigan they just outmanned Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
They just got rougher than them, and you can see that right there. I mean, he goes and he takes him on, and I promise you that 13 there, more he doesn't like it, and it just shows you what kind of player Loveland is. But I mean, he's aggressive in the running game. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, that's what's going to make him a superstar at this level and a superstar at the next level. Because a lot of people don't want to block like that. This guy's content to have his hand on the ground, and that's what I think you want to see. If you're looking for a tight end type that can really affect the game at any level, I want him to be able to block.
Yeah, his versatility is honestly unprecedented when it comes to tight ends in the draft class that he'll be in. So he's probably a shoe-in for the number 1 drafted tight end overall next year.
Yeah.
On the edge this time over here.
Yeah, he goes out and gets Kool-Aid McKinstry here and gets him throws him out of bounds. I mean, he gets his hands on him, throws him out of bounds. So, I mean, you might not think it's much, but, that's 3 extra yards. And, that's what people used to play football doing, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You'll hear that saying often. But, I mean, that's really what Michigan went back to this year is old school football. As long as we get 3 yards every play, we'll get a first down every time. And you know what? That's kind of what they do. They go for it on 4th a lot, 4th and 3, usually 4th and 1. And, a lot of it's because of the 3 yard and the cloud of dust mentality.
So we've seen him 3 different plays on 4th down where they go to him throwing the ball. Now they're going to go to him in a different way. He's not going to be running the ball, but they're going to be running right behind him. 4th and 1, who's your reliable player? Old Colston Loveland on the line making a block.
And look at who he's blocking. He's blocking big old number 98 right there.
That's a big old boy.
Yeah, it is. So, sheesh. And
Watch
he gets a good hit
98's
on him.
helmet. Watch
Yep.
that thing
Yeah,
go
that's
back.
exactly it.
Boom.
I
Wham!
mean, he turns him sideways. So I mean, I love him because he comes off
That's
of the
explosive.
ball.
That
Yeah,
is
he
so
comes
explosive.
off of the ball.
And that's the thing I was kind of talking about with his routes. He does it too with his blocking. He always gets to his spot before everybody else. He hustles so quickly and has great get off speed from the line of scrimmage, whether it's running a route or whether it's blocking. He's just, I mean, he
And
does it all.
I know that, like, I mean, that on a personal level, like personal work ethic level, that's a lot of what that is. It's
Yep.
just, you're saying, by golly, I'm going to get to my place.
Yep.
I can get off the ball quick if nothing else. But here's the thing I think so amazing about it. That is what this whole team does.
Mhm.
And that's why I like them so much. I mean, the more I watch them, the more I love them. They flat get after it. I mean, they play so hard, and it seemed like that they have the ability that if it doesn't work the way they expect it to, you know, they, you know, they erase it and they come back the next play as if, the bad play never happened. And every single time that you see this guy going, I mean, he is going all out. It doesn't make a difference what it is. 320-pound defensive lineman, okay. Defensive back, okay. I can block them. I can make the catch. And I mean, that's why I think that he's going to be such a superstar next year. I'm excited to see what he can do.
On this play, you'll see him take 44 or 15 yards to the
That's right.
bus right here. I mean, Michael Orr blindside him all the way back there. I mean, dude gets after it. Blocks this guy from the line of scrimmage all the way to about the 5-yard line. So I mean, that's a good 15-yard
Yeah.
block right there. So Andy keeps his hands on him for pretty much the whole time. Said his hand engagement is really, really good, especially being a tight end.
Mhm.
Said this dude is special. Y'all got anything else to say about him?
I know we didn't show it, but was he not the one who made the play in in Washington, the national championship game? Was he not the one who made the catch, like when their offense had kind of stalled out for a while
Over the
and they really
middle
needed it?
where he got that one
Yeah,
really
the
up.
big
Yeah,
stretched out. Yeah, I wish we
yeah.
had that one on there. I mean, we've shown it in several different videos, I think, at this point. But I mean, it's just one of those things that when you go back and you look at it, it's so easy to look at several different players on the Michigan team. But man, I'm telling you, Colston Loveland, when they needed it, man, I mean, he was the guy. I mean, that he was the guy they would go to so many times. And good for him. And I mean, he's just making a career, dude. That's all I can say. It's just going to be fun to see what happens with him next year. I also think maybe, Rev, I remember you and I were talking about this, and was he also the one on one of those Edwards touchdowns in the
Mhm.
in the championship that got that good block downfield?
Yep. He was.
And then as soon as the guy starts to turn, he gets his hands off of him, so he doesn't. There's no chance of that flag. I know we've looked at that one a couple of times. I mean, there's just so many plays. This guy, if he is not the one with the ball in his hand, he is affecting the play in one way or the other, and that's why we think he is going to be for sure the next big superstar for Michigan.
Yeah, I know Rev was kind of joking earlier saying that he was going to be the next Travis Kelce. I mean, this dude honestly has a chance to be the next big tight end in the league. I know he's
Yep.
been great in college, but I mean, them tight ends, might get one or two every year that's, kind of decent, but this dude could be like a generational top player, like the Kittles or the Kelce's, one that's versatile enough to not only run down the field and run good routes, but has the smartness to do good things like to let go of a block while also being able to block and make big time plays catching the ball. So I mean, this dude can do it all.
Yeah, I'll throw another one out there as far as NFL guy, Mark Andrews, the Baltimore Ravens. The reason I say that too is just because this guy, uh, Colt, Colston Loveland, gives me the same vibe as far as working with that Baltimore Ravens offense and being a big weapon for them because the way they utilize tight ends. I could see that being a really good fit in next year or 2 years from now. I mean, but he does everything you want him to do. You can tell that he's passionate about his technique. He's passionate about the game and his knowledge of it, and making sure that he has all the right things and all the right tools, and uses all of the right things just to be the best player he can be. It's really just kind of encompassing him. He cares about the product that he puts on the film, and he cares about his teammates, and he wants to be the first guy there, uh, you know, doing the right thing and as quick as possible. So you just love that. You love seeing players like that. Michigan has a whole team of them, and with them losing out on a lot of their big time names on offense next year, with Corum going away, with McCarthy going away, their
Roman Wilson,
their major pass catcher, their biggest threat that they had
Mm-hmm.
downfield, and then also AJ Barner, their other tight end, I believe, is declared as well. So
Yeah.
they're losing 4 big time offensive stars, not to mention their offensive line. So while there might be a lot of new pieces on Michigan's offense, he will be a key piece that you can center stuff around. And I think he's going to be a great leader for that Michigan team next year in a time of, everybody else thinks is a time of uncertainty.
Yeah. With that being said, we look forward to seeing what Colston Loveland's going to do on the field next year. We have faith that, he's not going to just be a superstar in terms of production. He's going to be a superstar in terms of leadership. We don't think Michigan's going away, and we think that Loveland's going to have a big hand in keeping them relevant in that national championship discussion. Until next time, stay locked in.